Finally, the big night. You've invited them back to your apartment and they're expecting something big. Something to fulfill all the fantasies they've been imagining since your last meeting. You're thinking, am I prepared? Am I ready for this? Am I going to do it right? Welcome to S&M D&D, where this week we talk about preparing your first session. It's important to prepare some basic things, like wine, shackles, models, casting couch. Wait, what video am I doing again? Okay, the 3 things you want to make sure you have some basic idea about, depending on the style of DM you are, before you even get started, are 1, a starting town or place. Keep this town small and easy. It'll make it easier for you in the long run. Number 2, a pickup line, plot hook. And number 3, a starting dungeon. Look, the entire point of your starting town or area is about getting them to the quest line. There are lots of different ways to get to this point. You could just have your players start here and railroad them into their first quest, or you can work with their backstory so it leads up to this point. If you have played literally any fantasy explorer game, your first mission is pretty much what you're shooting for here. You can even steal those if you like. You can always do the tried and true stardom in a tavern with an ominous creeper who looks like he's going to offer you candy to get into his van, who then gives them a quest to go on. Hey, don't bash it. Some people like candy and are more than welcome to get into that van. Coming up with your pickup line is going to highly detail how the rest of the night goes for you. This is going for the gold, to seal the deal, getting them to be further committed into the blissful fun you are sharing together. There are many different plot hooks you can consider, from classic D&D tropes to your favorite movie. Once you have a simple sentence plot hook, you need to think, how do I catch the players in this? If it's a major ending of your campaign, you really need to have smaller plot hooks to catch them into the bigger one. My campaign started with a really simple plot hook. Someone is kidnapping people and they are disappearing when they travel from one location to the next. Now, before we get started on your starter dungeon, let me show you how you can help support this channel. That's right, folks. This episode is brought to you by you. Those of you who have stopped by the Etsy page and decided that you needed some new toys in your life to make your experiences illustrious and fulfilling, you're the ones who have really helped support the channel, and we really appreciate it. If you're someone out there who is looking to help support the channel, one of the best ways you can go about doing that is by visiting our Etsy page and ordering some of the products that we have on there. And you can find these at etsy.com/shop/swordsandmagicdnd. Thank you. Now, getting into your starting dungeon, know that it doesn't have to be complicated. It's not like you've been in a relationship for 5 years and you're struggling to figure out what to get them for your anniversary. Too real? Realistically, you can probably go to a program like Donjon. The site is provided down below. Set some small parameters, fill it with monsters and loot, and you're done. Now you're almost completely ready for your session 1, but I'm not going to stop before you climax. Just a side reminder in case it isn't clear, at the start of your session 1, your player should pretty much be at their intended location. So you might have to do some one-on-one time to get them to that starting mission. Now that you're starting your session 1 and have prepared your dungeon, plot hook, and starting location, you're ready to go. One additional thing you might want to have so you leave some story elements open, a list of random names. When they meet an NPC you didn't think through, just take a name and make it up on the spot. Just make sure to jot it down later so you don't forget about it. Now, let's take a hypothetical. You made a dungeon, you filled it with monsters. Don't get too hung up on where it is yet. You have your creepy tavern man try to give them a quest. They shoot him down because they're not down for vans. You luckily turn to another trope. Suddenly, goblins attack the inn, or if you're into Matt Kova videos, orcs attack. They will want to investigate this goblin attack, hopefully. So make sure to put some indiscriminate clues that lead them to someplace. You then overlay that dungeon that you made there. Now remember that creepy quest giver from before? Unless that quest giver disappeared, he still has an open quest line your players might decide they want to come back to. So you might have to overlay a new dungeon over that quest. One of the things you will notice as you start these group sessions is your players are going to tell you how they want you to give it to them. Make sure not to be a selfish DM. Give them exactly what they need. Occasionally they're going to say, what if this is there? Or what about this trap? Or they will let you know personalities for your cities, towns, and future NPCs. Make sure to write this down to use later after they forgot they gave you this idea. Like stealing candy from a role-playing baby. Well, folks, I hope you're excited to get into your very first group session. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them down below. If there was anything you think you should have for your first session, leave that down below too. And while you're down below, let's just give me a little bit of good time too and click that subscribe button and turn me on. And by me, I mean my bell. And by my bell, I mean. And as always, I hope you have a nice fucking day.